His new mayor, R-N.Y, revealed he called President Trump to blast him for arresting Nicolas Maduro.
I called the president and spoke with him directly to register my opposition to this act and to make clear that it was an opposition based on being opposed to a pursuit of regime change, to the violation of federal and international law, and a desire to see that be consistent each and every day.
And today, Mamdani is refusing to stand down from his comments. He even dodged a question about using the city's resources to interfere with Maduro's prosecution.
And have you spoken to Trump again about Maduro or what's happening in Venezuela?
No, the conversation that we had was the one before yesterday's press conference.
You said it was a violation of federal and international law. Do you plan to use any of the city's resources to interfere with the prosecution or anything like that?
This is a federal action on a federal timeline, and I owe it to New Yorkers to deliver for them across the 5 boroughs and also to be honest and straightforward about my own thoughts on this.
Joining us now is New York Congressman Mike Lawler, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. It doesn't sound like the mayor actually really answered that question, but nonetheless, it is amazing to me that Donald Trump will actually take that call. One of the most open and transparent presidents we've had. But Mamdani said he got a briefing before he called the president. Who would brief him, and how can you imagine this would actually go down?
I guess he read his X feed. I don't really know who would have given him a briefing, but and certainly not before members of Congress. But as far as his comments go, I mean, this is the same person who said that he would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu in New York City. And so he's talking about things, frankly, that he has no knowledge of, no understanding of. And the fact is, Maduro was justly arrested. This is similar to what President Bush did in 1989 with Noriega in Panama. And the fact is that Maduro has been indicted 3 times in U.S. courts. He has flouted that. And the bottom line is he needs to be held accountable for his crimes and the illicit drug trade that has resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans over many years. And you look at what he has done with the illicit oil trade with Iran. That's why our military ships are there. That is why they have been seizing control of these sanctioned ships that have been involved in this illicit oil trade. And so there is a lot here. Not the least of which, of course, is the 8 million people who have fled Venezuela, many of them coming into the United States, into New York. And by the way, those people are celebrating Maduro's arrest. And meanwhile, you have Democrats, protesting in the streets, demanding that Maduro be released and President Trump, somehow be held criminally liable for this. I mean, it's just craziness.
Congressman Lawler, I think you hit on a lot of very interesting points, particularly when we look at the leadership here in New York City and really across the state as well. New York Governor Kathy Hochul also condemning these strikes. And she was also brief, she says. She talks about the Venezuelan community standing with families abroad in hopes. But she says there are no credible threats to New York at this time, that state police are coordinating with our partners in law enforcement to monitor the situation and keep New Yorkers safe. Mayor Mamdani talked about his focus being the safety of every New Yorker, that his administration will monitor the situation and issue relevant guidance. Do you view that as they're looking at this as something that there's some sort of threat to be wary of in the wake of this arrest?
I guess they're alleging that potentially because of the arrest of Maduro that there could be an attack in New York. I mean, what's fascinating to me about their statements is they had no qualms about Venezuelan drug cartels or gang members coming into the United States under Joe Biden's open borders, and in fact openly embraced them coming into New York City. Now, of course, they're outraged. Then you look at their overall comments. You know, they talk about protecting democracy and how important that is. Meanwhile, you have somebody who was illegitimately elected in Venezuela, in Maduro, and Joe Biden put a $25 million bounty on his head and said, we do not recognize him as the legitimate president. The EU does not recognize him. Over 60 countries do not recognize him. And yet now we have Democrats saying that he should be released, that he never should have been removed. It's just laughable, the lengths by which they go and say things that are contrary to what their previous statements were. And it's all because it's Donald Trump who did it. And that's what's so infuriating about this. You have a situation where somebody who has been involved in this illicit drug trade, this illicit oil trade, who has been basically serving as a narco-terror state, and these folks would rather attack President Trump for making a righteous decision, a difficult decision, but the right one, because it's Donald Trump. And that's what's fundamentally wrong here. Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat from New Jersey, was the only colleague of mine that I saw that put out a sensible, reasonable statement on the arrest. You have Kamala Harris saying that it's illegal. I mean, God help us if she was president of the United States dealing with these issues.
No kidding, Congressman. You know, the No Kings people are doing some incredible mental gymnastics right now. I remember when they were out in the streets declaring no kings, now defending a narco-terrorist dictator. It's really something to behold. But Mamdani, of course, isn't the only Democrat slamming President Trump for his operations in Venezuela. We've got House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries claiming Venezuela might actually be worse off with Trump in charge. Watch this.
It remains to be seen whether the people of Venezuela are going to be better off. Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America. Life hasn't gotten better for the American people over the last year. Life has gotten worse. He promised to lower the high cost of living. Costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. The healthcare system is broken. Donald Trump refuses to do anything about it to address the Republican healthcare crisis. So the notion that he's going to run Venezuela and make life better for the Venezuelan people, of course, is belied by the facts as to what he's done as president here in the United States of America.
Congressman, really interesting because the Venezuelan people seem to be pretty excited about the possibility of freedom in their country. But what do you make of Hakeem Jeffries there and his assessment?
I don't even know if they hear themselves talk half the time with the stupid things that come out of their mouths. I mean, I'm sorry. Nicolas Maduro was a despot, a dictator, a brutal murderer, a Marxist who has run his country into the ground. Poverty rates have skyrocketed. You want to talk about health care. You want to talk about food insecurity. This is a man who is sitting on oil, who's sitting on minerals, and has destroyed his economy. And they're criticizing President Trump? Look, when you look at Joe Biden's economy versus President Trump's economy, it's night and day. The fact is the economy is growing. We have job creation. Costs are coming down. We delivered the largest tax cut in American history that when people go to file their taxes this April, they will see significant reduction in their tax burden because of what we have done. The economy is booming. And this year, it is going to really prove fruitful with the policies that we've enacted. Yes, there are issues to deal with, like health care. But by the way, that is because of Obamacare, because Obamacare has failed to actually reduce health care costs. That's their policy. That is their chief policy that they put in place that they said would reduce health care costs in America. They have skyrocketed over 15 years by 96%. Meanwhile, insurance company profits are up 2,000% because Obamacare was written by the insurance companies for the insurance companies. But Democrats never seem to want to be honest about how to deal with these problems. They just want to point the finger, blame President Trump, and kick and scream. The fact is, what President Trump did, both with Iran going after their nuclear program and yesterday taking out Nicolas Maduro, arresting him, and bringing him back to the U.S. for prosecution are two consequential decisions that will make the world safer, that have undercut the alliance between Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, Venezuela, these states that have sought to undermine and destabilize the U.S., Europe, Israel, and the free world. And yet, here today, you have Democrats aligning themselves with the leaders of these countries because they hate President Trump so much. It is disturbing, truly, to listen to them talk about these issues.
Congressman, Venezuela has been Maduro-less for about 36 hours now. How concerned are you about potential instability there?
Look, I think obviously anytime you have a destructive force like Maduro removed from power, obviously in the wake it can create some level of instability. His chief henchmen are still in place. I think the administration's posture is correct, which is to say, look, these are the terms. You start making these necessary changes and transition to an election. I mean, ultimately, there's going to need to be an election there, and we're going to have a democratically elected government put in place.
Congressman Mike Lawler, really do appreciate you joining us tonight. Do appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.